Welcome to the Port Charles Update with your hosts, Mish and Mel.
Hello.
Hello, best Friday ever.
I thought Thursday was pretty intense. I
Yes.
am still recovering. So much screaming was had in our house after today's episode. Like, insane. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know how we're gonna do this because I feel like there's just so much. So we're gonna talk about some stuff. We have so much to talk about. Like, in part, I was like, life is hard. And there are
Yes.
some people that are making my life harder. Like, the
Yes.
amount of like emotion and stress and anger and frustration I felt this week, insane. Or Thursday, more specifically.
Oh, yes. I had lots like people were blowing up each other's lives left and right.
Oh
So much
my
happened.
gosh.
I was on the edge of my seat slash super annoyed. Let's get into it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so starting with Carly. Okay, so Carly gets invited to Sidwell's house, and I'm freaking out for this woman because it's like
Yes.
she finds the safe, and I'm like, yeah, like I hope you don't expect to do more than this. I think we both know this can't go any further. And then I got so freaked out when Ava walked in.
Oh my, well, right, because she's spying, she's entering this new world of being a super spy and figuring things out. And exactly like you, I was like on the edge of my seat. I'm like, please have all people to not have Ava find her near that vault.
But the funny thing is, now that you're saying this whole spy part to Carly, I would say, okay, that changes how I see the scene a little bit because I feel that what Carly did detect with Ava was like insecurity and
Yes.
jealous. And because I could not with Ava, like she's typically a very confident person, but she's literally become Lucy. Like Lucy is no longer Lucy because she doesn't want Sidwell anymore. So she's
Hmm.
not fighting over him. So she's more chill. Like, we've
Yes.
already seen scenes where he's pulling Ava into their whole thing. Ava was included in their Valentines, and Lucy couldn't care less.
Yes, I loved it. The dynamic flip.
It's flipped in such an insane way. And then Ava coming in and being like, so you're just staring at art? And I'm like, do you tell me what somebody is supposed to do when they're left in a room alone? Like, what option would you prefer? And this whole weird art thing, she's like, I deal in art. He's my one client. He's keeping everything afloat. Like her whole art thing was just insane to me. And I kind of love that she was knocked down a peg, realizing that Jen's invited Carly over. And then the fact that she resorted to helplessness, that is absolutely not the Ava I know. She's not helpless and whiny. But for her to be like, well, Carly doesn't like me when she was invited to dinner, I'm like, girl, you
Come
already
on.
did Lucy. Like, Lucy did this, and she was out of the picture for, like, 5 minutes.
Yes.
And now you're doing this again, like you did it with Lucy, and now you're doing this with Carly, and it's just so funny how this wrecks things for her, because the more he went into the list of attendees to this dinner and all that comes with Lucas, like, Eva can't handle it. This confident woman that we've been seeing, like, that confidence was, "Lucas is mine. No one who hates me is around."
It's confidence in a bubble, right?
Right, but I guess I thought she was more than confidence in a bubble, you know what I mean? Like, I felt that Ava could handle her own and could handle a dinner, but she's chosen to compete. She's chosen to vie to be Sidwell's one and only, and anything shy of that puts her off kilter, and that kinda sucks because I feel like, of course she could handle like, what do you mean? Carly's been in your life for so damn long. You might hate this woman, but this girl is your family. Like, her daughter saved you from a kidnapper. You spent Christmas there once because you had nowhere to go. Like, it's just insane that you're acting like it would be new to you to have a shared experience with Carly. Like, she made it into a thing when it never needed to be.
And that's what's frustrating. They've played around with who she is and how independent she is and how she stands on her own. And they make her character waver a little bit given certain situations. The whole backtracking on her relationship with Carly, wavering when it comes to Jen's and Lucy. Like, I don't like it. I'm not sure what they're trying
No,
to change or what they're trying to navigate with her character, but I do not like this side of her.
no, like, I think after the whole Sonny thing, I hoped for more
Yes.
for Ava, because at first we were buying into that. We're like,
Oh, yes.
better Ava than Carly at this point. You know what I mean? Like, they kind of fit. She knows this world, and unlike when he was with Nina, like, Carly really wouldn't have to worry. She'd be like,
Yes.
"Yeah, he's okay, he's good." As long as Ava can show loyal, then I think all would have been well, but then he ended up treating her like such garbage in the end. So, yeah, I think me too, I'm a little disappointed. I wanted to see Ava in a good relationship, and I guess if it
Yes.
had to be Sidwell, not like this, because he's literally making it clear that he's finding all of these dynamics funny, and he doesn't care, and he's not gonna make Ava comfortable at all.
No, and that's what it's so disappointing. If she wanted to be like partners in crime with him, like great, be evil together, laugh it up, wreck the world, whatever. But this whole like seeking his approval and wanting to be
Yeah.
chosen and this whole like high school girl crush, I'm like not into it.
No, not at all. So that whole thing happens, and then you have Joss, who's completely unaware that, as Sidwell put it, he's conspiring with Carly
Hmm.
for a dinner for the both families to kind of spend some time together and bond. So Jocelyn, this is what bothers me because now that the
Mm.
week has played out,
Yes.
I am starting. At first, this is how I saw it. So Joss talks to Marco and starts apologizing, and he's like, "No, dude,
Be
like your
good.
mom came to see me, and I think she's an amazing person who means everything she says when she looks me in my eye hole." And Joss is like, "What?" And I was like, "Out of the loop, are we?" And I felt like, okay, maybe this is personal, but now I feel like, sure, she knows her mom and she knows her mom isn't quick to, turn the other cheek or change her mind. First, earlier in the week, it came off like somewhat concerned for Carly, but we know that at the end of the day, the thing she was most concerned about was her self imposed mission she's on. Like
Yes.
her own boss doesn't confide in her. Like her own
No.
boss is running to her unky Jason. Okay. No one is looping this girl in, but now I feel like her running to her mom was more for intel on the dynamics because, Lucas is kind of her mark in a way.
Yes.
So that adds to the column of like, Jocelyn, like I just can't with you.
No, and Jenin, Jack Brennan told her to go to sleep. This girl doesn't go to sleep.
Like, after all this screaming this week, like, "I'm an adult. I'm an agent." I'm like, "First of all, you're right, Mel.
She's
She's
cranky.
asleep. She's not even supposed to be working. She's not even supposed to be working." Like, he put her to sleep and then went to go talk to Jason.
Yes.
Okay. So for me, when she showed up at her mom's house, I was like, "No." And
Mhm.
Valentine has been so good up until this point. What do you mean you're making footsteps? Or should I call them
Right?
foot stomps? Shouldn't he be monitoring? First of all, he was walking freely in the house.
Right?
He accidentally got caught by Charlotte and Lulu, who just wanted to have a whole heart to heart in Carly's kitchen.
Apparently.
So I'm assuming at this point he should be a bit more careful and monitoring comings and goings, but maybe with Charlotte, like I feel like if you're gonna keep taking these risks to see your dad, you might want to be like, "Hey, cousin Joss just showed up too. Get your head in the game, Charlotte."
Right? Okay, yeah, that completely threw me off. And also, I think he's just getting comfortable. I mean, there's cocktail hour, there's little chats about feelings, there's board game talk. Like, he's like settling in. So he's like, I'm just gonna roam around the house, make a sandwich.
I was so angry. Like when she went in there, I was like, "Get off her lover." Like to be. I left out the to be part, but I was livid. And then she wanted to mark him like she hit
Oof,
him and she kicked
that
him.
was wrong.
I was like, "Please, please." I was so mad. And then when Carly walks in, like, what leverage did she think she had in that moment with Carly? Like, her eyes were bulging out at her mom
Yes.
knowing she was an agent. Like, you tell me, what other conclusions was your mommy supposed to jump to? Like, oh, you just carried a gun for funsies? You learned to fight for funsies? Like, what?
Right? How did you feel about how she was addressing her mother?
Listen. Okay. I have fully transitioned, a developmental milestone, if you will. When I've watched shows for a long time, I'm kind of seeing it through the lens of, let's say, the kid in whatever show, like seeing a lot of their perspective. Eventually, I was like, oh, yeah, I totally get the parents' perspective. You become a parent. But I was still seeing both. I am fully converted, okay? So now when I'm watching any show, not just General Hospital, I am very much in the mindset of a parent, and I'm like, "You don't know what you're talking about." Like, I can't. Like, I fully made that transition, and I can't help it, and that is how I watch this. I was like, "This girl's youth is showing. Where does
Yeah.
she get off citing law?" Like, this is the first time this girl is getting to show off. Like, that's 20 years. Law this, blah, blah, blah. Treason. I just
Treason. So many, so many.
those law words.
She
I
said some acronyms of some other things.
I just couldn't. I just couldn't with the fact that, like, and I could understand that, right? You wanna feel like you're a grown up, clearly, because I don't know how many times she had to
Yes.
tell us she was an
Yes.
adult. And so
Usually, adults don't have to say that.
no, no, we just pay our taxes and move on with life.
Exactly.
And so I think that for me watching that, I was like, she just came off as tantruming to me, right? She was like,
Yes.
I know stuff too, because her mom has always been really competent. And I felt in that moment, Jocelyn wanted nothing more than to be competent, to not only be an adult, but to just be a better adult than her mom and like
Mm.
shove what she knew in her mom's face and just being so naive as to think that because she just learned some information. And granted, Carly was not trained as a WSB agent, but
Mhm.
just the mere fact that she came across some life experience, she was like, "Oh my God, what is this?" And then she took some. She's like, "Is this experience?" And so she took some of that life experience. She learned a couple of things, and all that together made it that her mother knew nothing.
Yes.
Her mom knew about treason, okay?
Yeah.
She knew damn well about treason. She's been taking risks long before you came along,
Thank
okay?
you.
That is sort of what's driving this whole thing. Little miss, I'm an
Mhm.
adult. Little miss, nobody's controlling or manipulating me. I'm just making choices that Jen and I'm doing it too now, that Jack led me to. You know, he set breadcrumbs, but I ate them. Okay. I
I
did
was
not.
hungry.
I went num num num. Okay. That's what I did. I made my own choices. And then the whole like Sonny bit to it all. Like these are Carly's choices that have this is called trauma. She's like, nobody is leading me but me. I really so the whole scene there of their back and forth of her jaw dropping that her mom found out she was a WSB agent and the fact that she was just more mad that like Jason told on her like ultimately and trying to be like all in control of the situation and pushing her mom out the door. So I would say in those scenes, like it went okay, but I just felt that there were moments where I wished Carly shoved what she knew in her face. Like if Jocelyn's gonna be all youthful, I was like, Carly, come on. You know more than you're letting on. Like I felt like she played the role of mom in that, but she knew
Mhm.
more. She knew how Jocelyn got there. She knew the whole Cyrus connection. She knew that Dex was used. She knew a lot of those things. And perhaps this is what Carly was saying is that you lied to me and I think she just wanted Jocelyn to offer something. She wanted, I guess, to know how honest Jocelyn was gonna be maybe now that she found out because, again, she just withheld a lot in those conversations, like, how did you think it went?
It was wild to watch because while Joss is trying to stand up for herself and prove her point, there was no real point to prove because exactly that. She lied for a year. It felt like she was being honestly in the beginning, I was like, she's just upset that she didn't catch on. She's some big super spy now, the WSB, but she's been to her mom's house how many times and didn't know Valentine's been there for like months.
Yeah, but that's exactly it, Mel. She felt out of the loop and upset that her
Yes.
mom was doing things outside of her awareness.
Yes.
And she used that to divert attention from the choices she made that she tried to play down. I think she was ultimately extremely defensive.
And that came off very clearly. And Carly did a really good job at choosing carefully how she chose to address certain issues. But I agree, there could have been so much more to that. But just seeing that blowout finally happen, and is this the path where the break becomes bigger? Meaning, Carly
Hmm.
was crying about how, and she's devastated, right? That she no longer knows her daughter. She's a completely different person. She made that comparison to the choices that Joss is making that compares to Carly when she was young and more reckless
Yeah.
and not seeing the outcome of her actions down the line. And, I don't know what they have in store for them, but, like, are they gonna make this crack even bigger? Like, what's gonna happen? You know, we talked about how Dante's on the side of the law, but
Yeah.
so is Joss, but she's going harder than Dante ever could.
I mean, he did and then he backed off. I guess that's
Yes.
actually really, that's something I don't think I've ever really acknowledged. You're right. Dante went right up until the line. And then he couldn't go through with it once he realized who Sonny was. And there was
Yes.
always this push pull. And I guess I felt that Carly and Joss had officially entered Sonny and Dante territory
Mhm.
until Carly kind of walked us through the part that's similar to her, the fact that she blew into town ready to destroy her mother's life.
Mhm.
And in a way, Jocelyn's not going to turn her mother in, but she is sort of there disapproving of her mother's life. And I think she just wants to destroy the parts of her mother's life that she hates. So I think there definitely
True.
is that parallel between Carly going after Bobby and Jocelyn going after Carly. And I think, I was here for the big reveal, she's an agent and all that stuff. But then as it kept unfolding, it just got better and better. And then it hit this deep zone, the fracture that you brought up. So it's
Yes.
the going back and forth. And like we said, she was being defensive. She was trying to spin this. And I don't think she did a good job, but I see your point and I agree, like, especially if we base this off of the conversation Carly has with Valentine later, that she ultimately was being careful, right? Because if this
Yes.
was a fight, I feel like Carly had the ability to win. I think it was clear she was holding back because she
Oh,
had
yes.
to win, but she was just soaking it in because this is the first glimpse she's gotten of this version of her daughter. And that was interesting. I never met this girl in my kitchen.
Yes.
There was definitely a lot going on there. But like, again, I just felt like, look, Joss isn't wrong for pointing out that crime fighters are better than criminals. Okay.
Yes.
That is not wrong, but like I said, it was very much, "I'm an adult and I can adult better than you," and there was just a lot of her issues that were brought to light, and we've been faced with this time and again, especially by Jocelyn. We've had
Mhm.
those moments with Michael, but it's different. It came full circle completely. Like, we saw angry Michael, but then Michael became a parent, and then he
Yes.
switched back to, "I think I understood what you did," and she's like, "I still don't think you should do what I did. Remember when you were mad at me?"
Yes.
I did. So it's funny because with Michael, again, full circle, and Jocelyn is just starting out. She's at that cusp in life. She's at that
Yes.
self-destructive stage that Carly was at in her life, and she also shoved in Jason's face, "Hey, I'm the same age when Sonny recruited
Yes.
you." But to be honest, this girl was trying to ruin a generation's worth of story. I was like, "Do
Right?
not come for Carly, Jason, and Sonny." I'm not gonna sit here and be like, "Oh yeah, Carly and Sonny should get remarried." Like, I
No.
understand. I understand where this went, and we outgrew some of this stuff. I get it. Let all of these characters grow. But like, that's when we watched, okay? And Joss was coming for us. He was coming
Right?
for people who tuned in to be like, "Show me the violence, show me Carly, Jason, and Sonny. Let's see what's going on here." Like, and that's the thing though for me is that I just felt her youth was showing a lot. Like, she goes at Carly for choices she made in her youth and where it led. Well, the thing is, Jocelyn, this is your youth, okay? And every choice you're making now will lead you somewhere you may never have intended. So
Yes.
that's where I felt like that's the disconnect for me, right? I've transitioned to adult and I can't with this because, again, youth is showing. And it's very black and white, right? It's similar to Trina, but just on a different scale, like, what's going on here? And like, for her running her mouth, which, okay, I took it seriously on Thursday and I still take it seriously on Friday because she repeated it to Jason and didn't say that it wasn't true. So she tells Carly Sonny has gotten away with murder. And I'm like, girl, the murders
Mhm.
your Unky Jason committed. What
I
are you
know, I
doing?
know.
And like, but then you value Jason? Are you serious? But not Sonny? Same business. Same business.
But
She also did murder. And I was like, girl,
mm.
don't brag. Like when she was telling her mom, I've killed. I'm like, okay. One, you killed one guy. The others, like with assistance. Like, don't make it seem like you're some assassin. And she's thinking she has all this experience. You and your mom have done the same amount of WSB missions. You
Oh my
think you're
word.
all that because Brennan officially trained you in a room with Vaughn? She's been learning from the master. She's been learning from Valentine. So
Yeah.
when she's getting all high and mighty about what an agent she is, Again, Carly has done the same amount of missions.
That's amazing. That is, I love that. 1 for 1.
Oh my gosh. And then like running her mouth like she doesn't know what we know. It's like, if you feel how you feel, why on earth are you talking to Jason? Like, I just want to point that out. Like, this is what I mean. Like, you can have your ideals, but this girl has no sense of loyalty. And I think that's what everybody
No.
around her sees. And it's something that she can't comprehend. I mean, you can have your ideals. And I mean, look, Dante has them too. And we watched what his journey was like. But if you are
Exactly.
not willing to cover up a murder that one of your loved ones committed, then what are you doing?
What are you
Like,
good
what
for?
are you doing? You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm,
if you're gonna treat your nearest and dearest the same as everyone else, then what is the point? What's the point?
mhm.
Like, the no gray area? The no gray area, and then trying to tell her mother what to do? I could not with that. And look, I feel differently about Brit depending on the scenes.
Yep.
And leading up until this point, they gave us a flavor of Brit before she had left. Okay. And
Yes.
so her walking in so rudely to Brit, I just could not with that. And then her going off at Jason, you told her, you told her, you betrayed me. I'm like, oh,
How does
okay.
it feel, huh?
Girl with no sense of loyalty
Mhm.
expected loyalty built by her mother to be reciprocated to her.
Bingo.
The loyalty, who Jason is, who he is to you, the fact that he's willing to lay down his life for you has nothing to do with you. You haven't earned that.
Mhm.
Your mother earned that. That's what loyalty is. All you see is crime, criminals, people making mistakes and bad decisions. And look, she's not wrong. All the kids are at risk, but that's the point. She made these decisions when she was younger. And yeah, there were unintended consequences. And we've seen it time and again where Jason and Carly just go like, damn, damn, like, look at us. We were just chilling and now our kids are in danger and some of them have died. Like, this is not lost on them and it's not lost on the audience who've seen them through their 20s up until now.
Yes, absolutely.
So, yeah, that's how upset I am. Like, I get it. On paper, the girl's not wrong. But just honestly, take your level 5 blah threats and just go somewhere else with them. Like, I just can't. The whole, like, she doesn't know about Cullum. Yes, she does. And she
Mhm.
didn't need to go to an official school to learn it. She learned it from one conversation with the man.
Oh my god, it's absolutely bonkers, but you're right, like, her youth was showing, she dragged it all over Port Charles, and she just yelled her little heart out because she didn't get her nap in, she didn't go to sleep, so she's throwing tantrums all over Port Charles.
My gosh. And then she tells Jason the Sonny thing, and he's like, what? Is that like a smoke screen? And he was just like,
It's so
you get
funny.
that me and Sonny go hand in hand. You do get that, right? And then like he like, oh my gosh, like I just couldn't with that. And the fact that he called her out, and this was hilarious. Like he straight up just said, like, what I made was a choice. What you're making is a mistake. It's
I
like,
love it, I love it. It was
that
so straight
was
face.
that was flawless because she's so self-righteous, and that was a huge thing for me. I'm like, she revealed herself as a you self-righteous bee. That's what it was for me. And at this point, this is no longer a secret, okay? Jason needs to tell Sonny now, okay? Michael needs to know. You want to be a WSB agent? Go do that. And I know that this is Carly's daughter, but I'm like, you can't be in this house.
Yeah, no, but
You can't
truly.
be in this house, and the cone of silence, like, you're not in it anymore.
Nope, you are
And
completely now excluded.
because, like, this is about loyalty and protecting the family, and she had to go over this with, like, Michael, you know, that, like, this is self-preservation. Like, sorry, guys, I made a mistake. I picked the wrong man. We're all gonna have to get over it, and we're all gonna have to try not to die. Like, we've been through this.
Right?
So it's a lot. It's crazy, but like, look, I'm excited as to where it's gonna go. I think it's gonna be a roller coaster of emotion between Carly
Yes.
and Jocelyn because this was a beautiful relationship we've seen. And those scenes showed me that, like, man, like, look, she has real feelings. Joss has real legitimate experiences growing up the way that she
Yes,
did.
for sure.
And they're strong. And so for me, I'm like, it's gonna be tough. Like I think I'm gonna feel a lot watching this. It's hard, but
Yes.
like, yeah, I think there was just more there than I had realized.
Absolutely, and she let us all hear all of it.
Jason walked her through his whole interpretation of Carly's actions,
Mhm.
okay? Like, if she didn't think I could help her, then she's not gonna let go of Valentine, and he wasn't wrong with those words. He wasn't wrong, and, like, their intensity,
Okay, we're going there. We're getting there. Okay, okay.
I mean, Carly felt it in the room, and then Johnny was like, "They're gonna kiss." I'm like, "I don't know if they're gonna kiss today." And then it was, like, obvious, like, you could see it, and then she jumped his bones.
Okay, here's the thing. This has been one of the absolute best sex scene I have seen in a very long time. And see, it's not about like seeing things. It was the build up, the arm touch earlier in the week.
Yeah,
They're growing close together in a partnership. The words he chose to use, we are in this together, we are in a partnership, emphasizing
yup,
that he's dangerous, but he's not trying to trick her or use her. And then that camera angle edit was
everything,
everything to
everything, and
this
that
scene.
and, like, to add to what you're saying, the idea of them being I'm not gonna say Jason because he didn't say anything insulting, but I felt like for a minute there, and we've talked about this, that, like, Valentine trusts her. He's like, "Yeah,
Yes,
take all your shenanigans and, like, focus that energy, harness it," and he really
exactly.
believes in her, and I know that Jason loves her, but it was really interesting now that we're talking about it. Jocelyn is like, "Go be her best friend. Go control her. Go tell her what to
Messed
do."
up.
And he doesn't have that kind of influence, and I think he knows that, right? Like, she's being
Yes.
very childish, but she is seeing her mom as a caricature. She's like, "I'm an agent now. I've learned that there's things going on that we don't know about in this world." And so I just think, like, that's the difference, right? Like, her old life, new life, and I think Valentine trusts all of her, and I think for the first time, you're gonna have someone because I just felt like she's not a joke. Like, she's
No.
definitely an imperfect character, that's for damn sure.
Hmm.
But I do feel like she's grown, and I think Valentine is meeting her where she's at, like, Jason is literally brainstorming and being like, "Oh, I guess I'll have to take him out." And then Jocelyn, the adult WSB agent, is like, "No, we don't have to do murder, do we?" It's like, "What?" So, yeah, I just kinda love that part too. I feel like they're gonna be so great together, and I mean, look, Joss made it clear she didn't like her stepdaddy, Sonny, she didn't care for Brennan, and she's certainly not gonna care for Valentine. It's gonna be even worse because she's like, "He's a criminal," but, like, not for long.
But what I love so much is as you were talking, I was thinking about Carly's history, her relationship with Jason. So, her past is wrapped up in Jason and Sunny, who has seen her change, but still they hold on to bits and
Mhm.
pieces from the past. And then you look, she was with Drew, who was with her, yes, because he cared, but a little bit because of the whole Jason situation.
Yeah,
You look
yeah.
at Jack Brennan, that relationship started because of an initial plan that he had when it came to Sunny and Joss. A lot of her past relationships, and maybe I'm missing a few, like Jax again, there was that push pull with Sunny. Valentine is the first person in a really long time that gets this version of Carly, who's taken the time to work on herself, to be independent, to learn from her experience, to step away from that life and build her castle, her herself, her business, her family, everything. And I love that he gets to see all of the parts of her. So when he did say, "We are in this together," it hit on such a different level.
It is, and we've said this from the beginning, it's deeper because they know who they are, and
Yes.
he's in competition with no one. Because in all the examples you provided, all of those men were always in competition with either
Yes.
Jason or Sonny, and in this situation, that is absolutely not the case at all. Like,
Yeah.
this guy is probably has like, doesn't even know what insecure means. Like,
Exactly.
no. So it's fascinating because
Yes.
it's like they really are each other's equals. It's insane to me. Insane. I am so excited for this. I think Charlotte will be too.
Oh my gosh, yes. Carly's amazing. And well, that's exactly it. Carly said, I'm the mom that was like, I would accept everything you said to me. I forget the exact line she used. She's like, I have something written on my forehead. Basically, like, you can tell me anything. Like, I won't
Yeah.
judge you. I love you for who you are. And that's exactly what Charlotte needs. Like, her conversation with her mom in the kitchen was like awful, hilarious.
It was the beginning of the Lulu cringe. I mean, look, it
Yes.
was a great appetizer. It really was. Like, I love how Charlotte brought her mother there just to kind of show her dad, you see what I'm dealing with? She's so
100%.
annoying. Like, I couldn't believe the line she crossed, okay? She basically said, "You're not a Spencer, essentially, but everyone else is." Like, I was like, savage. She's like, "Grandma's cool, Grandpa's cool, Uncle Lucky is so cool." And then she references something he did, like the cool years, that the thing that she's always envied and been
Yes.
jealous of never being a part of. She literally called her on that. And then Lulu's response, again, I know Lulu doesn't know better, but she's this petty. Like, she just is. She's like, "Oh, I see what's happening. Everyone thought your dad was gonna come for you, but, like, he never did." I was like,
It's so
"What?
messed up.
What?" Like, I just couldn't. I mean, to be honest, I feel like, thank you. I feel like that was for me. Lulu got poked in all of her sensitive spots, told she
So
wasn't
much.
really a Spencer. Charlotte kind of being like, "I'm more of a Spencer than you are." Like, saying, "My dad let me roam around Prague alone and you won't even leave me alone for an hour." And the thing is, look, I don't fault Lulu. Like, she's parenting
Yes.
like all that she knows, but she's not doing herself any favors ignoring that aspect of her. There are
Mhm.
consequences to your actions, but it's not just about this moment. All the time she pretends that that other part of her doesn't exist, and she's not parenting Charlotte for who she is specifically. And we know that she's just keeping Charlotte as close to her as possible because she doesn't have her. There's a fragility to their relationship. She
Yes.
knows that. She knows that she's like, "Mom, I love you," tap on the head. We'll always
Yeah.
have that. We'll always have mother-daughter. Mother-daughter, always me and you. But that's not who she would ever pick. Like, you know what I mean?
No.
Give Charlotte space and she's gone. But I mean, again, that's fear. If you gave her space, I don't know, maybe you'd actually start to have a relationship. But all I kept thinking was this: if the whole Nathan thing comes out, this is gonna be bad for the Lulu Charlotte dynamic.
Huge. So bad.
Because Charlotte came at her where it hurts, questioning her Spencerness. And
Mhm.
then Lulu, because she's so sad, the moment Charlotte left the room and was alone with Jocelyn, was like, "Hey, I know you because we're Spencers. Like, careful, careful doing Spencer things because, like, we're crazy." I'm like, no, no, I cannot believe she's doing the Spencer thing to Jocelyn. No, I couldn't. I couldn't. It was so cringe. And I love the little smirk Valentine had when, like,
Yes.
Charlotte was, like, going toe to toe with her mom. But again, I don't blame her. Lulu is not, she's not making it easy on herself at all.
No. No.
Ugh. And while everyone's freaking out, like, we need the identity of Delilah and the baby, and we need it now. It turns
Yes.
out Nathan came back, and was just dilly-dallying with Lulu. So you have that intense Brooklyn scene, and then we see where he is. He's with Lulu, talking to her like she's a toddler. "You're kind, you're strong." Like, his
Ugh.
tone, I was like, "I can't with this."
It's so Nina Sunny with
Yes.
amnesia.
Yes, but they're related, right? Nina did it,
Yep.
Nathan's doing it, and so they're doing their thing, and I was taken aback that they were gonna kiss in public.
I know.
They kissed in
Oh, those
public.
dum-dums.
How happy was your heart when you saw Felicia in the background?
I think I jumped off my couch because I
Yeah.
knew if anybody
Yes.
would give it to her straight and not take her baloney BS running around in circles trying to play victim and innocent person here was Felicia. Oh my God.
Oh,
Tell
oh
me
my god.
everything.
Oh my gosh. I was just like, I like, because it's one thing watching her with Laura, and even the conversation with Laura, we're like, "That seems like you're missing a lot of reality." Like, I get
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
wanna support your
totally.
daughter, but I felt like she was fast forwarding, like, 10 years. Like, of
Yes.
course you can date your friend's husband. It'll be fine in 10 years.
Look at
I
Tracy and
like,
your dad.
right? When Laura was talking, she was really talking from a place of experience, but I felt like she was
Yes.
really leaving out the present and how hard it was gonna be. And again, Felicia's not her mother, she's Maxie's mother, and
Yes.
she, like, went for it. She called her out immediately, and I just was, like, so happy because I knew this was gonna be a coddle-free zone. There's not gonna be Nathan pretending to be a mirror and going, "You're brave and beautiful." Like, he's not gonna be giving her affirmations. Laura's not there to be like, "Oh my god, follow your heart. Maxie's in a coma. She didn't even know Nathan was alive."
She
Like,
was
saying all of
sleeping.
these crazy things to her. And so then I was, look, I know Lulu. I don't expect much from her. But
Oh.
I guess I was stunned at how little tact she had at all. Like, she didn't think to herself at all, like, "Oh, this is Maxie's mom. Like, let's
Right?
try humility and accountability," being like, "Oh my gosh, I know, I know." Like, she could have just said, "I know," and taken it. It's kind of hard to be mad at someone who's very conscious of their actions.
Exactly,
Right?
yes.
And that was an option, but it's never an option for Lulu.
Never.
She just had her little boxing mitts up. She was ready to go to battle, completely unprepared for
Nope.
battle. But she tried. She did all these things like, I've done nothing but consider Maxie when I kissed Nathan or did all the things. Like, what?
After I did absolutely nothing by never going to visit her, I thought, what would be the best way to be there for her during her coma but to make out with her husband? Keep him
Because
warm.
what he went through was hard. Because what he went through is like what I went through. And if it's more about me, it's easier. It's just easier. Okay. Because look, there is a part of me, obviously, that sees Lulu and Nathan and can very much
Oh,
acknowledge,
yeah.
yeah, you two could
That's
fix
not what
together.
we're talking about right now.
But this, how I loved watching her through Felicia's eyes, because that's the eyes I mainly see her through. And so, and I loved that Felicia was seeing it too. Like, there was no more insane coddling and babying, all the crap that Maxie was doing, how everybody was treating her during the Brooklyn storyline. It was
Yes.
gone. You were talking to the
Yes.
wrong person. So I love that so hard. And I was laughing at everything she thought was a good idea to say. And like, I don't know, like that's why I chose the clips that I chose, because she would try. Felicia would swat whatever she said away, and then she'd have shame face. And then she tried again. So then she went with, Felicia, to my knowledge, she chose Spinelli. Like, if I were to rewatch that, I'd be hammered if I took a
gosh.
shot
Oh,
for
yeah.
the amount of times Lulu said, but she chose Spinelli.
I loved her, what is the right word? Is it indignation? When
Yes.
Felicia was like, so has this been going on just now or since they were married?
Fair question. Fair question. And like there was a point where she even goes like, Nathan, who did she say? Oh, I think that she said this to Maxie, that like she was also friends with Nathan. And that's where I'm like, girl, that was the whole issue, was that after Nathan died, Maxie attacked her, and we all know this. But then Dante just didn't say anything. Like, whenever she was being attacked, he just stayed silent out of like respect, because Lulu was his wife at the time. But in private, he eventually kind of like let out a little bit of his feelings, because at the end of the day, when Nathan died, two people were broken up over it. Two people were forever changed, and that was Dante and that was Maxie. It's not to say that Lulu didn't care. Obviously, she did. But she did not have near as a relationship with Nathan as she thinks she did. And everybody knew that. And that's why they were just like, you're being ridiculous. Like, you're not getting this.
No, she really is missing the nuance of what these relationships are, the impact of them, and why, even though not knowing when Maxie would wake up, how messed up it is.
But the nuance is where she's wrong. So, of course, she would like dodge nuance. But that was crazy, because we literally had her tell her mom, what kind of a friend am I? Maxie did my nails and I just like hooked up with her husband. That went out the window. She's talking to Felicia, the mother of Maxie, and saying, well, she picked Spinelli. And then she had like you pointed out, she was so indignant. And I was like, why are you clutching your pearls?
Right?
When you were accused of sneaking around with Nathan, when you're currently sneaking around with Nathan and doing so carelessly, kissing in public without having spoken to Maxie. Like, why are you so upset that she's accusing you of doing exactly this? Like, she's accusing you of your present. Like, you're doing all of those things right now.
Right now.
And she tried so hard. She's like, while Jocelyn might have said, I'm an adult, Lulu didn't say it. It like literally, but she was saying it. She said it when she did this. Felicia, to be honest, frankly, and I'm like, you don't know the definition of those words. This is beneath you. That was the moment
So bad.
Lulu was basically saying, you know what? I'm an adult too. I think I can get out of this. Like, it was just horrible. And I love that Felicia always had a comeback and saying, well, and what you're doing is above board. And like, not only was it bad enough that this girl kept saying, but she chose Spinelli, she chose Spinelli. She then goes, but Felicia, she can't have both. It's like, no, is she actually saying this? I mean, mind you, I'm finding this amusing. Like, I thought it was hilarious, but I was just like, this is exactly who Lulu is, and I loved it. Every time she spoke, she became smaller and smaller in Felicia's eyes. Like, the more this conversation went on, Felicia saw her exactly like we do, and I loved it, but I was also just stunned at her inability to grow. I was stunned at her so-called self-preservation, do anything to keep her ego alive at the expense of everyone. And the line Obrecht gave Britt in the elevator when she
Mhm.
said, well, you know, this will never happen because Nathan would never like pursue this at all cost, you know, to the detriment of Maxie or to hurt her or like Lulu. And I'm just like, but the thing is Lulu would, and that's what was so astonishing.
Amazing. It honestly, that made it feel better for me because, we're gonna move on to our conversation with Maxie, but
Yeah.
between what happened with that conversation, who Lulu is and who Nathan actually is, this is like, yes, they bonded, but to the core, they are very, very different. And he is not gonna like the version that he actually sees because he's in a bubble right now. He has a really big crush. He's not in love, it's too soon, but they are very different people who see how they affect others in a vastly different way.
Did you know they were involved? Like, I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that Lulu kept telling Felicia as if she's like the first human to feel sexual attraction or have feelings to anyone. She's like, we don't know what this is. This, I mean, me and Nathan had been talking about this and what it is and what it could be. And I was just like, can you stop? Can you stop acting like you stumbled upon an epic love story? You stumbled upon Maxie's epic love story, okay? And you were left behind by your own epic love story. Like Dante rewrote it and was like, nope, Sam's my love. You know?
Yes,
So she's just desperate for this. And again, look, again, coma bonding, whatever. But this whole thing is just, I mean, it's just so funny. It's just so funny watching this happen because like you pointed out, like they're having this in a bubble. They're two different people and they're forgetting that their kids are verbal. Like it's one thing to go from like, what is this thing? But look how it escalated when she went to go talk to Maxie. We're involved. Like she decided that they're involved. Even though she said they ended things, she's like, we're involved.
but I absolutely love this because it was exactly like Nixon Falls in the sense that their relationship could exist in this bubble where nobody knew something was happening. But take it into the real world, and the minute they got tested, it like immediately fell apart within like a month, right? And this is what's going to happen. Like you said, once all the outside voices, so she dealt with Felicia, she's, Obrick stuff is kind of letting it go because she knows it's going to fall apart. We have Maxie, and then we have all the other players involved.
Like, she hasn't even talked to Dante yet. And I mean, like,
Right?
look, I understand that Dante moved on and he did. But again, as Felicia pointed out, there's one thing about him moving on, but it's another to move on with you. And I think
Exactly.
that's a fair thing. And the fact that she can't even acknowledge that, like, like, that's what's crazy. She refuses to acknowledge what a big deal this is. Like, you're talking to Maxie and he's still legally her husband and saying things like he deserves to be happy too. The girl was barely in a coma. You were in a coma for 4
Exactly.
years and Maxie did not touch the love of your life.
Exactly.
Like, this is bad. And also their kids, you know what I mean? Like, James might be young, but what do you think? He's not going to notice his dad's with Lulu. He's not going to notice the tension that the rest of Maxie's kids won't be like, what? Or that the fact that Lulu has teenage children, you don't think that they're going to have an opinion?
No, it's absolutely bonkers, and I think that's the fun part for me. It's just
Oh,
seeing how all of
yeah.
this is gonna like what the fallout's gonna be.
Oh my gosh, and I hope that Brooklyn enjoys the ride, to be honest. You know, like, she
Oh,
knew she
yes.
did not tell Maxie it wasn't her place, but she also warned Lulu not to. She literally said, "You will lose her." And to I don't know about you, but I feel like Lulu made it really clear that she's willing to risk her relationship with Maxie. Like, she said it to her face, like, "Look,
Yes.
I'm involved with your husband. And I really hope that we can move past it. And I'm really confident that we will. Like we got past his death, didn't we? I'm sure we can get past this. And I'm just hoping that Maxie can finally recognize like she's outgrown her. Like you've
Oh
created
gosh,
such
I
a
hope
life
so.
and she was like a wrecking ball when she came back. And I'm just hoping that like look, Lulu, find a different circle. Like I know it sounds bad, but part of me is like, yeah, they have a history, but I don't think she's a good friend. Like I don't think she's a good friend to Maxie. Maxie stood up for her. She gave her a lot of leeway, and I guess I was stunned by this statement that Maxie made. "I knew Nathan was different, and it was because of you, and now I realize that, and I feel like that shifts things for her," and I'm like, "That's crazy. That's crazy to be like, he was different, and had you not been a factor, I don't know how I would have felt."
Oh my God, right? That was intense. Like, there was 2 things that were really like, when Lulu was trying to tell Maxie that Nathan's a good guy, like, she doesn't know that he's a good guy, so that was
It
like,
was
"I don't understand what you're
cringe.
doing here." But yes, when Maxie was talking about the fact that when she saw Nathan for the first time, she felt that something was off and it wasn't just the 7 years, and it just, like, hit Lulu on the head and bounced off. Like, do you
Oh,
not connect
yeah.
the dots that that means that you really messed up their first meeting?
Look, I think look, you know what? That was Maxie going deep and showing her that her actions have
Consequences,
consequences
yeah.
and they had a huge impact. But Lulu doesn't see it that way. She's following her heart.
Oh, yes, and she picks
And
Spinelli every time. She picks Spinelli, it's her go-to line this week.
I could not only could I not stand her constantly repeating Maxie's choices to Maxie,
Mhm.
but also challenging her, questioning her, like acting like this is a
Yeah.
her problem. And I hope Maxie can see this friend, okay? This friend that you defended when she was being vile. You gave her all the leeway, all the guidance. You know, you were being a good friend. You're like, I'm going to be honest with you so that you can be a better person. Has she really become a better person? She's literally looking you in the face and saying, you know what? I'm going to do this. I know you don't give me your blessing and I know this is hard for you and you've been through a lot, but I matter more and I'm going to take this risk and I'm just going to be so entitled to believe that it'll just work out. Like I feel like she communicated a lot about how much she values or how little she values Maxie. And I honestly hope at this point like she's an adult, you know what I mean? I hope that that's something Maxie sees. Like this is not about boy issues and dating an ex-boyfriend.
Mhm.
This is a big deal and I feel like it's about time Lulu like live and just deal. Just deal. Go make a life. Like I don't think this is for you anymore.
Yes, I totally agree.
Epic. Like, so epic, and again, I hope she doesn't drag Brooklyn down into this. Only she knew.
No.
So, like, I'm hoping Maxie talks to Brooklyn, and I would really love to see more of that friendship because that got taken away from us when Lulu came back.
Well, I think that between what's going on with Lulu and Brooklyn getting a new baby, that relationship with Maxie will be, will go deeper.
Look, I'm happy the family intervened. Tracy had a talk with Brooklyn and made it pretty clear where she stood, where Michael stood, what the reality of the situation is, that this can't go on this way. And I loved that Ned confronted Chase. But seriously, why is Chase shocked when Ned had to point out that you're prioritizing your ex-wife over Brooklyn?
I know. Why is it like he really thought that nobody else noticed what was going on in their world when they live in the same house and they've heard him open his mouth and also punch people?
It's insane. And he's like, "Well, we're stronger now because of everything." I'm like, "He doesn't have a baby with you. How strong are you guys?" Like at this
Right?
point. And I just couldn't. And like he barely understood the concept of you're putting Brooklyn in the middle. He's like, "No, I'm not. I'm just punching her cousin and I'm trying to put him away for a crime I believe he committed. How am I putting her in the middle?" So I just
Oh my gosh, it's so hard to watch, and especially they're, like, forced to go on a date walk, it's just, like, it was terrible to witness.
Okay, first of all, I wasn't thrilled. I don't believe I liked Chase's shirt at the time, and he was like, "No, I'm taking you on a date." Like, he took his father-in-law's advice, it was good advice, but then as the date unfolded, I'm like, "Obviously, great job on the date, Chase.
They walked
Everyone
through
needs a
an
little."
alley?
Yeah, everyone needs a little death on a date, Chase. Like, I just like, it was hard, obviously, those scenes, but I just
Yes.
kept laughing because I kept looking at this through the guise of a date that Chase crafted poorly. That's how I kept seeing the whole story, the whole story. Like, I knew that they found their baby mama when it happened, but as it kept going, I'm like, "Well, we know she's gonna die. Like, that's for sure. This woman's gonna die. They're gonna, like, get a baby." But again, this is the worst date ever.
Truly, like, not exactly like, "Do you know how you came into this world?" Like, it's we were on a date. It's just it's all very messed up.
It's so messy. And then like when okay, look, them trying to complete a form. Like how many times do we have to go over the fact that like they don't know anything? And like them filling out the form, if not for Felicia putting an end to the misery, they were gonna become drag bingo.
Oh my goodness, yes, that is perfect. Yes, that makes it so much more clear in my mind.
And the baby's from a crime family.
The baby's from you believe is from Babies from crime
Well, okay,
families?
so some
Tell me
people
more, tell me more.
the mom's tattoo, that's not a good tattoo.
I didn't think so, but I usually, like, I'll pause and zoom in, like, take a picture and zoom in, but I did not put in that
I
much
didn't
work.
either, and some people suspect that it's like Dawn of Day, like
That's
a
what I was thinking.
resurgence. So
Yes.
a resurgence of Dawn of Day, but I'm like, where does this fit? With Brooklyn and Chase. There was little They had little to do with Dawn of Day, but a crime baby when Chase is being a baby about crime would be really good, I think. Because it would force him to be even grayer than he is. Like, your baby could be attached to a crime family and you're supposed to be a cop.
I love it. I love it
So
even more.
I feel even though the Sidwell storyline is nowhere close to being finished,
No.
we're gonna introduce a new story. Yeah, so obviously she's not connected to anything good. And like honestly, at this point, I'm like, Brooklyn, what else do you want? Like Nathan is listing all the ways they're gonna try to locate it. She's like, that's all you're doing? I'm like, what else is he supposed to do? Like I can't right now. It's not our fault you had the worst date because your husband sucks. Like when she was like yelling in the room, like after the mom died, and she was like, she was going through all this alone. I was like, are you referring to your marriage? Because that's what I felt.
Honestly, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That helps me see it so much better. It was misplaced emotion because I could not make sense of how intense it was for her this entire, don't get me wrong. Like, you know, an instant connection was forged. They knew her first name and it felt like a lifelong connection. Got it.
Like
But
like when Chase goes to her, well, what would you have named the baby? And he started smiling. I'm like, yeah, what's a few more bent rules, Chase, at this point? You're on a roll. But the point is, I see that baby as Brooklyn's, not
yeah,
Chase.
absolutely.
That's
No, not at
just
all.
that's just how I feel.
Yeah, I
Look,
feel the same too.
PCPD. They are trying to tie up loose ends. I think that Justine couldn't be happier that Michael was cleared. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah, big
don't think she
time.
could have been happier. And I felt like Kai handled that really well because Kai got pulled in for questioning and not once did he slip up and said, no, I touched all over the bat. Like, I touched it, I rubbed on it. I did so many things when I was there. Stole evidence. He was so good. He was
He
so
was.
cool
He
under
was.
pressure. And I think you have to be because, like, when you're going to be working for Willow or in politics or your boss props up her husband, literally, physically, for
So,
photos,
so gross.
I think you gotta be cool under pressure. No, that threw me for so many loops. Like, when I saw that, I gasped. I'm like, "This is not okay." Like, I looked around the empty room, and I was like, "This isn't right. This isn't right." I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
It was wild to me. She still has her, like, vixen makeup on. They had to have a team put him in place. It was just the oddest photo shoot on a soap opera I've witnessed.
And look, like, in his room, he has to wait for people to visit. In a moment like that, he's around other people, but, like, you're seeing this where people are talking to each other, and eventually they speak to him directly, and then they go back to
Yes.
talking to each other. So I feel like, look, he's gonna come across a lot in this date.
Oh,
Is
yes.
as long as she keeps propping him up and wheeling him around in public, he's gonna be ready. He's gonna be ready for when he returns, and I think he'll be a better person when he comes back. I mean, Jordan called him on that. What is it going to take? And I think this is what it takes.
100%.
Oh my gosh, that whole thing is a mess. Replacement Boyle trying to talk to Laura. I think Laura's getting it, but then Laura's like, "Meh, I think Willow and me should say no and see what happens." And
Roll the
I
dice.
even though she knows, like, she literally sent her family away. Sent her family away. And
Yeah.
she's just like, you know what? We got this. I mean, look, at least she's working with Sonny. It's not just her, but I just can't. It was definitely hard to watch.
It was very hard to watch, but I'm also, like, really invested in how everything's gonna turn out. What is
I
Willow gonna
am.
actually do? How far is this gonna get pushed with Laura in terms of the Jen situation? I am so not on board and can't wait for Boyle to come back, the other actor. Kai staying close to the situation so that he can keep an eye on Willow. Like, that whole storyline is legit fascinating to me.
Laura was even saying, I hope you're not using this for personal gain. And she's like, well, yeah. And so then she was having a debate with herself, like, this is not going as planned. And that's the whole thing. Kai's statement put the like whole pursuing Michael like to rest. So that's interesting. Michael is safe. So she can't use her position to do anything on that front. And that's what they were talking about at Charlie's. How beautiful does Charlie's look?
Oh my gosh. Love the whole reno. Absolutely stunning. I can't wait to see people filter in for a open mic night.
To hear Trina sing, I was like, "What's going
Yeah.
on here, guys?" She sang at nurse's ball. It was like it was a birthday for the dog that they decided, and then everyone's like, "Trina can sing," and I'm like, "Yeah." And then Gia's like, "I know where you should sing." I'm thinking her dad's club, like her
I know,
family
me
is
too.
musical. And then it was like, "No, obviously Christina's new bar," and I'm like, "Obviously," like I'm trying to go along with whatever this story is. But I'm glad, they're promoting the club. So
Yes, super cute.
beautiful, but, like, I don't know how I would feel, right? Like, my dad hangs back just so he could hook up with his crush at my bar, and the whole time I kept thinking, like, about the whole reconstruction of the bar is that we know Julian had an office and a
Yes.
bed because, like, that's where he slept with Britt, and it was so good. So for some reason, I kept thinking about that, and and then Sonny and Justine, honestly, like, how is that fun? She talks so much, like, she's so analytical.
So much talking and okay, how if I drank during these scenes, I could die. I could lose my career. It's the same. It's dangerous. No, he
No,
could die.
no.
It's not the same. Stop talking and either do it or move on.
Well, she did. She's like, We should pursue this until its end and then stop there." And I was like, "Okay." She she outlined the whole thing.
No, I think my favorite was we are like the dictionary definition of one and done. I could
Oh,
not.
oh my I was like, "Is there a PowerPoint presentation coming?" Because
Apparently.
it was so cringe watching that.
Yes.
And Sunny being like, "Yeah, like, we're even Steven." I'm like,
So
"Why are you
good.
acting like you're not playing this girl? Like, come on." And then when he discloses where they are, I'm like, "Well, it's a really good thing you tested out the bed. Now you can tell her everything's all good. Tell your daughter it works." Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're literally telling this girl you hooked up with, I got this for my daughter. This is her.
And she's like all twinkle in her eye, and we can come back here until we want to stop. But I know it's only one time, but I'm just saying.
And they kept on talking after. Like, they talked about it. I just figured what's left to say. And then she was all, because I've been watching Bridgerton, so at one point she's, like, very elated and smiling and stretches back, and I'm like, "Girl, celebrating her pinnacle. Maybe it's her first." I'm sure you could decode what pinnacle is or watch Bridgerton. Anybody who's watched it. So, like, that for Bridgerton fans, that's what I was thinking when I was watching that. But it was just insane. It was just insane to me watching those scenes. I just found them hilarious. Hilarious.
It's hilarious. In the moment, I was incredibly annoyed. Looking back and hearing you talk about it, yes, hilarious.
My gosh. And like, and I just think, I posted about it. It's just so late to be discovering the whole appeal of a bad boy. Like, I
I know,
can't. I can't.
yeah, it's too
She's like,
much.
"I'm different. I'm gonna pursue Sonny, and I'm not gonna get involved with him personally. So I'm gonna have pizza at his house because he's a pizza oven, and then I'm gonna sleep with him, and then I'm gonna take him down." I'm like, "Wow, you took the scenic route. Cool. I look forward to seeing how this ends up for you." But what I am happy for is that Portia got her house. I didn't know what Curtis's deal was.
Before we go to Curtis,
Yeah.
this sounds really bad. So, like, Sunny needs like a punch card of like 88s.
I know. I know. And the next one, there's no conviction. Like, you're just like, I was gonna say then he gets off, you know?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Accurate. Okay, back to the
Back
regularly
to-
scheduled program.
Back to Curtis. So when no one's around, he's like, "Portia, I wasn't fair to you." "What?" "Portia, I wasn't good to you. Do you want to take the house? Take it." It was just like, what is going on? It was ridiculous to me. And
It
I
was.
understand Isaiah's concern because
Yes.
he's met a version of Curtis. And
Yes.
anybody would assume like control. But I'm like, look, don't worry about it. She's not dumb. It's going to be in writing.
I agree.
But if you know Curtis at all, this is not about control. It's about like, take this, okay? This covers my past behavior and my future actions. It absolves me and I get to do more stuff. It's like you at this point, they're even Steven. All the outrage they felt about the other moving on and with who, It's too late. Like, she's with Isaiah and he wants to start his life with Jordan. So if either chooses to kind of move forward with their new partners, you can't say anything. Like, you just can't.
No, but they might end up living all together in that house with all their babies.
Oh my gosh. Like, when Jordan
How
said
did you
that,
feel?
I think, well, it's right here. I said, ew, no. That's what I
Yeah,
said.
I felt the
And
same.
and I don't know what she's gonna do because she's been so clear about like not wanting a baby.
So here's the thing, right? We were looking for that rift. We thought maybe the baby was going to be Gannon's and then we'd see Curtis spiral. But
Yeah.
what if it's something about the baby? She hides it. She doesn't want to keep the baby. He's all up in arms, tries to control the situation. And there is the rift that leads her to Drew.
Oh yeah. Like Curtis is gonna control
Curtis
somebody.
all over it.
He's like, he said he was, I know it could be a little intense. And that's the thing. He might take his eye off Portia for a bit. And if
Yes.
anything baby related happens with Jordan, he's gonna be all over that. It's like he
Yeah.
wanted to be a dad hard, be a dad so hard at the same time with so many. And the fact that he's even telling Jordan speaks volumes about how unfair he was to Portia. He's like, I regret letting you go.
It is so brutal. So brutal.
So brutal, but it's a good thing he was honest in a whisper to Portia when nobody was around. Oh my gosh. The last and final thing that deserves, well, a really big gold star was the Quartermains and the whole Danny thing. So out of nowhere, we get this Danny scene. We learn that he's being like a bit of a slob, taking advantage of the
Yes.
staff, really pushing the boundaries that, he has pretty, loose boundaries as it is, but he's already pushing that. I loved watching Jason be serious with him, like
Yes.
parenting him and, just showing respect. Like, you have to apologize for the staff, but after you come back from hanging out with your friends.
So funny. They're like, dude, you're dropping the ball. You're not parenting hard enough.
But when Danny made that comment,
Yes. What? Oh
okay,
my God. I was like mouth on the floor, jaw on the floor. Yeah.
I
Jaw
was
on the
like,
floor.
I'm pretty sure that if anybody is getting hidden after this comment, it's you. Okay. And the fact that he legit seems scared of Jason in
Yes.
that moment, I was like, "No, I don't read the room, bud. Like, read the room. This isn't good." And then I laughed about Alexis when she asked, like, about facing consequences for your crimes.
Yeah.
And then Tracy's like, "You could have been talking to either of us." Like, it was just
So good. So good.
it was like, this is what I'll say. First of all, I forgot Michael was available to
Right.
be
Yeah.
and to
But
be
then
honest,
Tracy's line about it.
what did she say? Oh, he
He
can't
can't
even
even hold on to his gifts.
I know, I know, I know. But neither could Willow, and she got Scout.
True. True.
But part of me feels like Michael owes Jason in that way. Like,
Right?
but at the
Oh
end
my
of the
God.
day, like, they put the most important figures in the room. They put Alexis, they put Tracy. He brought up Carly, and their reactions were hilarious.
So funny.
But let's be real, like, I feel for Alexis, this is her daughter, her grandkids, but why would Danny be displaced? And
Yes.
legally, Danny still can't be around Scout.
Yes.
So I just feel like, look, I think it's about making sure that like Alexis has access. I don't necessarily see anybody preventing Danny from seeing his grandmother, and he's getting older, right? This is more about just like where he lives, and I think Danny would be happier staying where he is. But again, that could mean anything. Are you going to give that power to Tracy? Do you give it to Brooklyn? Do you give it to Michael? But all I kept thinking was this: when
Mhm.
Alexis was challenging Tracy on the idea of, being Danny's guardian because Danny is being challenging. I'm like, look, if Tracy can hold Jason when he's mourning his mother, I think she's more than capable of handling Danny and maybe what he needs.
Totally agree. This different head of household, Tracy, is a completely different person.
Yeah.
And I love, I would love it. Words are happening today. Yes. If the custody was given to Tracy and that we get to see more Tracy Alexis shenanigans because they do
Oh,
really have a
yeah.
really good banter but respectful chemistry, which I really enjoy.
They have really good chemistry. And I want to say this like, if we're talking about chemistry, like Elizabeth Britt scenes, okay?
Like
Like,
triple gold star to those scenes.
I'm just gonna say, you're capable. Like, you're capable of creating moments that I can actually connect to emotionally. Like this
Yes,
version of Brit, how she was with Elizabeth. That's who she was before she left the show. And that's not who you presented to us when she came back. So I'm just saying,
exactly.
if I think about what they did to her and Jason, And look at what you did with her and Elizabeth. They don't like each other, but look what you did. You gave a shared experience,
Yes.
something big happened, and then you found common ground, which was their job. They both care and value similar things. Look at that. You created a wonderful moment. And obviously, it's going to be super fun for me to watch like Britt and Lucas bond and Elizabeth and actually have a relationship. So I'm just saying, like, to me, you could have designed a story for Britt and Jason that we could attach to more. But I just feel like it's not a mistake. Like, part of me is like, well, you know how to do this stuff. And when you're showing me a
Absolutely.
story this way, I feel like you're doing it on purpose because you don't really want me to get attached to it. And it's not serious. And we also know that the actor is going to be gone until the summer. So maybe that's it. But the point is, like I've said since Britt came back, she doesn't need Jason to have like a full story. Like her chemistry with Elizabeth, her chemistry with Lucas, watching her in scenes with her mother. And once again, you should have just told your mother you needed help. Like I would
I
have
know.
loved to have seen that. Like it drives
Same.
me nuts that she's not going to the one person who can literally rip everyone's head off and wouldn't be scared. Like she like I kind of hate that Obrecht, well, one, that she's away because Nina arranged things, but
Yes.
that she's not part of that story.
I know it's frustrating because now even Brennan knows. So Obrick is like the one person we wanted to know, and everybody else knows right now.
I know. Jack better do his like comparing notes confirmation soon because you have zero power here. Like, given that she literally told you about Cullum, you're like the last to know. She said she's not concerned about you, dude. Like, get it together.
Okay, before we get into the stars, I
Hmm.
want to give an annoying star to Chase because not only did
Oh,
he
yeah.
bring Brooklyn down a weird alleyway with an almost dead body, he also said, let's go to a wine bar. And that was his thing. That was
Willow.
his drag
Yes.
bingo with Willow. And I was so annoyed.
Yeah, I caught that too, and I was so offended. I was so
Mhm.
offended. You literally just got called on the fact that you're prioritizing Willow, and then impromptu, you're like, "Let me take you on a Willow date."
Right? Oh my gosh. Okay. Favorite line that I had was Obrecht when she was talking, when she was
Yes.
going at it with Nina, and you said you could paper over the cracks, but I wouldn't walk on them.
Yeah, that was one of my lines too. That was so good. I think it was Felicia's comeback. So when Lulu said something about she can't, like, Maxie can't have both men, I like the fact that she accused her and says, "It sounds like you're the one who wants it both ways. You want your best friend's husband and your best friend. Good luck with that."
Yes.
Loved
So
it.
Felicia, like a fire star to her because everything she said was so perfect and everything we wanted Lulu to hear.
Oh, yeah. No, it was so good. So good.
A star to Charlie's new look.
Absolutely.
And you know what? Stars are all around. This week was really explosive. People trying to blow up each other's
All
lives. I was on the
around?
edge of my seat, but also super annoyed.
No, no,
It was
no.
a fantastic week.
Carly and Valentine. Good.
Oh, that star, that's another fire star, my friend, because I looked at that scene like, I'm not gonna lie, like 3 times so far. And it was everything I wanted
So
ever.
good. So
So
good.
good. So good. What was your cutie pie moment of the week?
Oh my gosh. It's I obviously can't put Valentine
No.
and Carly. That's just not appropriate. Can't do that. Look, I think I'm gonna go with Danny because that was
Yes.
just his so much of his face in that. Not equipped to handle all those grown-ups, that's for sure.
No, not at all. It's hilarious. And okay, what is your handle for the coloring book?
Yes, it's at Cutie Pie Coloring. That's the Instagram handle if you want to go check out some of the pages. The link is on our Instagram page. And you can also just Google directly on Amazon, Cutie Pie Coloring Book.
Oh my gosh, folks, I cannot wait until next week. We covered all the
Me
stuff. We
too.
talked about all of the things. That's a wrap, folks. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye bye.
Bye.